What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a whole nother episode of We the Outsiders, the podcast. I go by the name of Tony Palmer.
And I go by the name of Adrian Collins, and we just want to welcome
Yes,
y'all all
sir.
in. Welcome back, welcome back. We got another episode. I'm excited about this, Tony P, man. Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
It's another um another time for us to unite, get back together. I'm just talking, bro,
Get in that
rambling.
pocket, man.
Yeah, I'm
Nah,
just
yeah, you said it all right, though, bro. Getting in that pocket.
yeah,
It's a space that we both love being in, man, honestly. So I'm happy to
yeah.
be here. I know you happy to be here. We got a new schedule going on. We got, you know what I'm saying, some structure happening, man. So I'm happy for us. I'm happy where God is taking us, what he's doing, the things that he's shown us, the humility that he's given us in the pocket to be able to, aim and get into a space of seeing what works. Not being so caught up on, nah, this is my baby. No, me. You know what I'm saying? Like getting into a space with a German Shepherd here. But getting into a space where it's like, what does it take? What will it take? What is that next level going to require of us, bro? So if you follow me on social media, folks know I've been on that trying to get to the highest version of myself or trying to even figure out what that looks like personally. And I feel like we're doing the same thing for the pod, for the business, because it's bigger than the pod. What's your thoughts on that?
Nah, man, I agree. I agree. It's one of them things where we stepping out here on faith, brother, and continue to show up, man, no matter what it look like. I think that's it. That's one of the examples that we're trying to present in this season. Is just continue to show up, no matter what it looks like. Maybe some time off, maybe some times where we're trying to reposition or just life getting ahead in a way, and
Mhm.
we got to be there for our families or whatever we got going on. And maybe there's just times where we just completely frustrated and just don't want to show up. So, working through all that, man. And shout out to our wives though too, because I'll tell you what, they definitely the ones behind the scenes kicking us and pushing us in the back, like get up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
up,
that
get
part.
up.
They the cheat
So
codes.
for sure, man. But nah,
They
but
definitely the cheat codes.
for the most part though, I am proud of us uh, doing this in times where we really wanted to give up, but we couldn't do it alone. Even aside from our wives, like we got other individuals that'll hit us up, and just a simple question is, "Hey, what's up with the next episode?" That right there just gets you going.
Mhm.
Like, all right, I gotta lock back in, So, man,
Yeah,
so much to be
nah,
grateful
facts.
for. So much to be grateful for in this moment, man. And yeah, man, I think somebody was at work. Um, Harold, Mr. Harold, if you happen to get to this episode, I appreciate you, man. I didn't know he was locked in, but he doubled down on me at work and said he tuned into one of our podcasts. It was about me touching on my situation with my daughter, and he just a simple question. It was just a simple question he asked me while I was at work. He's like, "Man, how's everything with your daughter?" And I thought it was so random. I didn't catch on. I'm like, why is he mentioning my daughter like random? Like no
Yeah,
disrespect, but like, you know what I'm saying? The OG
facts.
came to me, and I was just trying to figure it out. And I'm like, did I talk about something? And sure enough, I'm like, well, he ended up speaking up and was like, "Yeah, I watched your episode, man. And you mentioned about your daughter. I was just checking in." And I thought that was unique. That was it touched my heart. And just to know where me and my daughter is now, full circle, things are looking a little bit better and stuff. So, yeah, man, it's stuff like that really gets you locked back in, and you know, and
Yeah,
and you know,
that's what community is. Let you know you got community. You feel what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's
Like,
what's so dope, man. That's what's so dope
how do you
about it
know
all.
about my? How did it even come up?
Threw me
Oh, the
off.
podcast.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I'm
And
with you. I'm with you now. I'm with you now.
you expect that type of energy from your family, your inner circle.
Yeah.
So when you got individuals that's outside, and you're willing to share and be vulnerable in spaces like this, you never know who really cares. And
Who you really
you got to be
touching or who
mindful.
really
Yeah,
watching? Yeah.
I know the world could be a little crazy, a little teeter totter, up and down, but them upsides is very beneficial. It helps a lot. So I appreciate you, Harold, for that. You know what I mean?
Facts, facts. Shout out Harold. I don't know you, brother,
Shout
but
out
you know,
Harold.
shout
Just
out. You
yeah,
you
yeah.
you
Don't
outsider.
don't say that, bro. Well, you're probably the name don't sound familiar, but he was we met him at Sweat House. I introduced you to him. We went both went to yeah,
Ah, I saw. I know
yeah,
what he
yeah.
looked like. Okay,
You know what
okay,
it look
OG. I
like.
got
Just
you.
don't yeah, just not the name.
I got
But
you.
it's
It's
all
love.
good.
It's love. I
Respect.
appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. And truth be told, man, it's those instances where, like you said, you see where community is. You see how powerful your words are, how powerful your story is, how
Yeah,
it can resonate or how it could, form in somebody else's life. Even if they checking on you, some people who got
that's
motivated
it.
from it, some people who silently was like, "Oh, I'm going through something similar," like type time. So you just never know how powerful your
Yeah.
voice is, how far it carries, and what your story could do for the next person. So I think that's another dope part about what we got going on, man. And even
Yeah.
speaking of conversations, it's been a minute since we've been here, but we've said okay. We haven't. I don't know if we publicly said it just yet. Matter of fact, I know we haven't publicly said it just yet. Not point blank period, but the first Wednesday of every month, expect a new episode. The first Wednesday of every month is We the Outsiders Wednesday. That's what podcast dropping, at least one. At least one.
Mm.
And we hope to build to, bi-weekly, then once a week as we continue to flesh out this new system. Um, which was one of the things we talked about. I don't remember if it was last episode where we talked about what CJ was saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Where he
yep,
was like,
yep.
man, when y'all gonna do another So
Yep.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
something that's the
Yeah.
fruit of some criticism we got from somebody who taps in with us, where it's like, man, we want to hear more from you. When can I expect it?
Yep.
And
That was
truth
real.
be told,
Shout
he
out
wasn't
to
the only
CJ.
one, but he was one of the ones that really made it
Eh,
made it hit home.
yeah.
So
Shout out to CJ for
first Wednesday
sure.
every month.
Yep,
Shout
yep,
out to C.
yep, for sure. Thank you, C.
And a small recap, man, about where we been. You want to tell the people? You want to tell the people, bro, what we've been up to, bro? I know we done had an event.
Yeah,
We
we
done had
had
a
the
couple
event.
of different events, man. Some eventful times.
Yeah.
Uh, Bruh, just
Yeah,
busy season, trying to figure things out, but yeah.
yeah, one of the events was mentalities, mended mentalities. Th that right there was, always a space where it's just inspirational. Was able to bring my son this time, and it was just a special moment to me, and, had a moment where a few tears dropped for sure, but all the men that was there, man, you guys was, some of them that I personally invited, man, touched my heart to see y'all in that space and still be vulnerable. The same y'all brought the same individuals that I've talked to personally on the back end. So just to be around other individuals who's laying it on the line, feelings and all, like, man, I appreciate you guys. It meant a lot, because I ain't gonna lie, you get in that space, some people wanna hold back, you know what I mean? But, they didn't. All men, respectfully, said how they feel, gave a brief background of where they came from and what they go through currently or in the past, and, man, just creating that space where, you never know what an individual would, going through, and, man, me saying that, I wanna just say rest in peace to Randall. uh Sorry, it may feel random, but it's just I know it has something to do with your mental. I won't say too much of his backstory or what just recently happened, um, but because I just received it from somebody, so I don't know exactly all the details. But I know I went to college with him, and we had some of the best experiences while being out there. He from Kansas, and he showed me and a few teammates around, and we just had a great time. He had the best personality I've been around. So man, it's just so much, and I'm sorry, it's just so random, but it's definitely
Nah, don't be
one of
sorry. Don't be sorry.
yeah,
That's what
it's
this
just
space is
it's
for, bro.
yeah, it's definitely one of them things where I know mental health came into play. You know what I'm saying? So that's as much as I will say, but I
All
love
right, so
those
let's do this
spaces.
then.
I love
Let's
those
let's
spaces.
let's
What's
put a
up?
little more on top of what's going on where um what my brother's referencing is June 7th, we had Mended Mentalities, which is the second year we partnered with Vibe Venue. Shout out
Yeah.
to Vibe Venue, shout out to Sam and the
But
family.
yep, shout out to
And
Sam.
put on this event for men, men and mental health. It's
Yeah.
Men's Mental Health Month, and so it was a beautiful space for men to come and unpack, to come and just be themselves, to come get around some like-minded energy, and just
Yeah.
things of that nature. But what my brother was describing as well is kind of some of the things that happened in the room. He said he was able to bring his son.
Yeah.
It was some solid individuals in the room with us, man. Conversation was good. I
Yeah.
feel like everybody that came left better than they came, and
Yeah.
that's really the point of those rooms. And then he shouted out Randall. I didn't know Randall personally. This is my first time hearing of that, man. But
Yeah.
again, love,
Yeah.
love. But if mental health came into play, it's another reason is why we put together rooms like this to just be able to talk, man, be able to be ourselves. Podcasts like this for us to be able to walk through just whatever it is, whatever life has to offer at the moment, whatever it's throwing at you, whatever the obstacles are, whatever it is you're dreaming to do, hoping to do. If it looked different than what your life has always looked, then it came to you for a reason, for you to change the trajectory of your family and just stuff like that. Because I feel like that's what me and my brother doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sitting in that space, sitting in that room, I feel like it was beneficial not only to me, but again, everybody that was there. So
Yeah. For
that's
sure.
motivated. But yeah, man, I was gonna ask you how. I mean, now that people know that what's transpired. Matter of fact, yeah, we can get into that, man. Maybe how that space makes you feel. Like, what do you feel in that space where? Okay, so we put these things together, right? We still, of course, are growing. We referenced the structure, the new structure. Being humble enough to see what works and what don't work, being able to look in the mirror and really assess and make a decision based off of where we want to be, not necessarily how we want to feel. And so we getting into that space where
Yeah.
we producing,
Yeah.
and it's requiring a lot of us because I've always been one to wing it and been a creative all my life, but I can be all over the place. And emotions are one of my superpowers too. I could be very emotional, which could be a good or a bad thing.
Yeah.
But getting in this new chapter of We the Outsiders, where we at, putting on events, working on more events, aiming to be better, aiming to show up full, aiming to add to the kingdom. Like, how you feeling right now? Like, just with everything going on, with all things considered, how you feeling personally, professionally, in business? How you feeling right now?
Um, on the business aspect of things, man, I think we still learning. We still learning a lot. Um, we still learning each other in different seasons, um, as partners. So when I'm just talking about the business aspects, man, just wanting to continue to grow and continue to be out here, it has been so fulfilling, um, and so curious. It's a lot of things that come, a lot of curious things that come in my thoughts, like how I move with business sometimes and how you move with business. And, sometimes they come together. Sometimes, we have to really come and really talk to each other and see how we are. And when they say it take about like 5, 6+ years to get a business going, that's real life. I mean, we had to just reposition ourselves and we putting people on the team now. You know what I mean? Well, our wives, let me be a little bit more transparent. Our wives is we involved them a little bit more now, and realizing we was taking on a lot and not following through. So, man, it's a lot of things that I'm learning with holding each other a little bit more accountable. Um, just on the, like I said, just on the business side of things, because I know there's just individuals out there that just get motivated doing their business and then wanna, sometimes business could be overwhelming. It makes me even thankful for just having a 9 to 7, you know, sometimes because it's like I ain't gotta deal with too much thinking. I've learned business is exposing me at times, and then now I gotta make the decision how if I'm still gonna show up or not. And I can be honest, like, it was times like, "Man, I don't know if I'm gonna continue to do it. I don't know how I'm gonna break it to my brother, like, you know, we too far in the game." And those is real feelings, and I don't think I ever told you that while saying this now, so just
Oh, no, it
it's
ain't a surprise.
yeah, it ain't a surprise, but it's definitely one of them things where I know I've recently felt that, but, you know, making that decision to wanna still press forward, it could be hard at first, but when you're doing it, you know, it's literally things will start looking up, and you be like and it you know what I mean? So, it kinda remind me of the conversation that me and my wife be having, and she trying to help me understand because I'm a person who really cares a lot, and, she was letting me know, like, feelings, they literally and I've heard it before, but just to hear from my wife again, it's just, you know, when you hear something repeated over and over, it eventually stick. But it was just the fact that she's let me know like how feelings can literally be it edges and flows. Like it can literally be here today and gone tomorrow, you know, depending on, you know, what the situation is or whatever you're dealing with. But I'm learning to give myself time and patience. And like when feelings are popping up in that moment, I have to just learn to just chill out because I react on a lot of my emotions real quick at times, and I've noticed with myself, and maybe other individuals can relate. It's just like reacting on those emotions in the moment could definitely it can definitely be something that can backfire, and it really like you know what I'm saying throw things off, you know, and throw yourself off because you're just like, man, I never intended on that. No matter how much you could passionately be about it in that moment, but you're reacting off your feelings. You didn't even let it marinate. You didn't let it process enough to be able to communicate it properly on how you feel, or just maybe that was just a feeling. I noticed when I'm waiting a little bit longer, that was just that temporary feeling. Like, no, I don't want to really give it. Cause then I just changed back to, no, I really don't want to give up what we got going on. And it was like, dang, but just earlier I was just feeling like, man, that makes me realize I have to really be patient with myself because there's times I'll make a decision and it could deviate everything that possibly could have been or could have been, you know what I mean? So just keeping it in the business aspects for me and how everything's just been flowing business wise is beautiful scars because you know there's definitely battle wounds in this and you know feelings a lot of feelings involved understanding and then understanding my brother on the back end of things and seeing how he move. It's crazy how I see how you move though because it's like you know I've seen you in the best lights but like behind the scenes it's like man I see how much you carry bro flaws and all and the doubt and you know, the uncertainty about just certain things, bro, but, you know, I've, and picking you up at times and trying to communicate, effectively as much as I can, but, you know, hey, it it's one of those things, bro, and I think you could talk on your you know, on your behalf when it comes to you about
Yeah, for sure.
how you move, but man, it's just one of them things where it's like you start realizing what's meant to be when once you give it time. Once you get through the flaws and all the negative, it's you know some of them negative thoughts couldn't necessarily be
Let's dig,
positive.
let's dig into it. Let's dig into it because it's getting. I love where you at. I love where you at. Let's continue to dig into this space too, bro. I don't want to glance over that. So for
Um,
what's wrong?
my bad, bro. I don't know how my son phone call came through, but maybe he was okay. Am I still on here, bro?
Yeah, it's good, bro. We good. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yep. All right. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's rock.
we in the pocket. So
Let's rock.
for to keep the conversation in that space, bro. I don't want to go too far past it. I think it's
Mm.
important for not only you For the
Yeah.
person listening to this that's like you, for the person that's listening to this that's looking to you for what's possible in their life, for the person that's looking to you as somebody who is running alongside them in this entrepreneur world or in this walking in purpose world or whatever the case is, whatever the eyes are, whatever the person's perspective is. Let's dive deeper into this space because you say, yes, okay, recently there's been things where maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I don't want to do this. But then on the opposite side, there's spaces where it's like, okay, this is purpose driven work. This is okay, God, I see what you're doing. What is those real things? Let's let's try to be specific in the story and in the lesson, even if we really unpacking it right now. I want somebody else watching this to be able to learn from us as well, because they may be in a similar space, or they may hear you say that and say, dang, well, maybe I shouldn't do it, or dang, or there's somebody saying, oh dang, I felt that same, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get into those feelings. Let's get into, if we do know the root, or perfect, beautiful. If we don't, let's get to the root.
Mm. The root of what? Of me having those feelings.
Well, in those spaces of the ebbs and flows. So yes, as Sis said, yes, feelings are fickle. They do come and go. And it is important to not make decisions based off of a high emotion value. Meaning like, well, how I've heard it before, how it comes to mind is when emotions are high, logic is low. But to match that into a space that is talking about purpose, to match that into a space that's talking about passions, to match that into a space that's talking about something bigger than the individual, but you still have human emotions.
Mhm.
What does that look like? Because I mean, from my perspective, I tried to say, I'm not I tried in many mentalities. I made sure I say this in the room, and then for church, the Bible study group we had on Monday, Bending Mentalities was on Sunday. Group is on Mondays. I led the next session on Mondays, and we had a similar conversation about vulnerability in men, authenticity in men, transparency in men. And one of the things that I say is, I still to this day deal with inferiority. I feel inferior. I feel as if I'm not enough. I feel like there's always something for me to prove to myself. I felt like that for forever, but then there's people who I see in position. There's people who I see that may be older than me, that may be more seasoned in the work that we do, that I may look at and be like, yo, dang, I like how they do it. Then they'll tell me like of my power. And it's like, yo, that's fire, because I can't see my power. I get these moments where I look up and I'm like, oh God, thank you. Like, yeah, I see it in this moment, but that's not my everyday revelation at times. You feel what I'm saying? And so that is something that I deal with as somebody who is a leader, which sounds
Mm.
kind of like an oxymoron. Um, because I'm leading folks, and sometimes I don't feel like I trust myself to lead me,
Mm. Yeah.
which is a feeling. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And which is,
Do you feel like that stops you?
nah, I wouldn't be here if it stopped me. Now it has stopped me.
That's what I'm saying.
It has delayed me. It has distracted me. It has put me on other paths that I may not, if I was locked in or if I was in that pocket, it's took me down some roads that I maybe could have went without driving down. You know what I'm saying? Increase my drive time a little bit if I make it a map reference. But nah, it ain't stopped me. It ain't never
Mhm.
stopped me. But that's what I'm
Mm.
asking you, as far as a space where when you have those feelings of, man, I want to put this down. Man, it's heavy. This a lot. This is more than I expected. This don't look like I thought it should look. This don't feel like I thought it should feel. We ain't far as I thought we should be. We don't have the experience I feel like we should have being 3+ years in. All of those is real feelings. But how do you navigate? How do you show up even in those okay, yeah, patience. I heard that. I feel that and I respect that. But let's just get down into it a little bit more. I think that's important. I think that's an important part of the conversation.
I think, bro, what it just come down to is just showing up, bro. I don't there's as far as the deep layers, that's it. You either gonna decide that you're gonna move or not. And
Mhm.
yes, I know I had those other thoughts as well, but I think it just buckles down and just you think about all the stuff that you've one of those things where I'm starting to learn more in my life now is invest in my time. I'm taking that a little bit more serious. Like when you really invest your time, like your intentions, what was my intentions this whole process through? Like when I was in certain
Mhm.
moments, was I really into like was I into it? And I look back and I checked it off and it's like, yeah, I was. There wasn't no moments where I was really acting phony. I was really locked in. And I think when you get to that point of thinking like, how was I feeling in certain moments while doing business with somebody or whatever it may be? Like, what are you like? You giving it your all? Cause we gonna have these up and down feelings no matter what we do. I know
Well,
millionaires that still
speak
go
on
through
that
that,
though
you know what I
too.
mean?
I,
Living
I
their
want you
best
to speak
life.
on that because you've asked me some questions. Because this is, I want to get into this. You've asked me some questions where it's like, you like, do he really want it? Talking about me.
Mhm.
Is this something he even really serious about? Because I can't tell by how I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
Let's elaborate. Because a real feelings. Because when you said that, I want people to understand, not from a surface level lesson where it's like I'm still in the pocket, but I thought it. What did you think? How did you feel? How did we go about that? How do we overcome that? What does that look? You know what I'm saying? Like what is in that place now? And even if we don't have the answers to some of that stuff, okay, cool. We still human too. But I feel like along this journey, bro, it's so much, it's so much to take from everything. Like there's lessons in it all if we choose to really kind of dissect some of the stuff. So from that standpoint, which is why we got into a space where we had to look in the mirror and be in a space to kind of try to figure out what does work because we know what don't work. And to an extent, I feel like that's a beautiful thing because the analogy to come to mind is you can appreciate a sunny day with beautiful weather if it's been raining all week. Um, you know what to look for. It's kind of like dating the wrong person shows you what you don't want and shows you kind of how to look for the person you should be with or how to go about the process. And so a lot of the
Mm.
things that we had to learn, and that's for the podcast, that's our relationship. We done almost got into it. Uh, got into it, you know what I'm saying? Like just different scenarios. Then on the
Mhm.
opposite side of opinions on what should happen next. Feeling
Yeah.
like voices wasn't heard, coming to the table where decisions are being needed to be made. Um,
Yeah.
like all type of stuff, holding on to information, feeling like, okay, I'll process this and I'll still come to the table whole. Like it's been all of that we had to navigate as people,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
And yes, in life you do continue to grow. If you should continue to grow, living things grow. And
Yeah.
we are adapting, we are adjusting. But I think it deserves a platform to talk about the very real layers, the very real growing pains. Um, I mean, it was a situation a couple weeks ago where I'm like, dang, I think bro salty at me. I ain't talked to him.
I was just gonna touch on that too.
And yeah,
That's
it been like a week
real.
and a half or some time. And
Yep.
I'm saying this and
This
he's
was
saying
this
something
was
on the opposite side.
this
Go
was
ahead.
after mentalities, right? This was after mended mentalities, right?
Uh I don't know. I think it was before.
Okay. I was just
I
didn't
think
wanna
it
get
was.
nothing
It was
mixed.
before. It was
Okay.
before because remember, we had
That
stuff. We had
Sunday.
deliverables.
Oh, yeah, and we leading up
We
to
had
that Sunday.
deliverables
Okay.
we wanted to do,
Okay.
and we hadn't. Dates had
Uh-huh.
passed,
Yeah.
and we
Yep.
hadn't. And yeah,
Okay. I just
so it
wanted to
was right
make it.
before Mended.
Yeah, it was crazy because we already had a couple things in place. And my bad, go ahead, though. Let's finish up what you were saying, my bad.
No, that's just it. That's just it. What I was saying, it
Yeah,
was right before Mended mentalities, and so
yeah.
just to continue to draw context, it's like we got an event, a partnership event coming up. The time where we should be on the same page the most, we wasn't.
Right.
Um, at a time where, because at that point we were supposed to have not just 2 events, we were supposed to end up having 3 events, and ended up
Mhm,
moving one of the events. It was a lot. Work is
mhm.
busy, life is busy, business is busy, and so it's like
Facts.
navigating those spaces. And so I don't want to use this as just a space to kind of talk about the victories. I want to talk about the mud too, because that's
Man,
how
the
we got
mud.
to the victories. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the mud, bro. Just as our platform continues to grow, just allowing ourselves to be open and being transparent as possible. And there's times I feel like we're not enough transparent, what I'm saying? And we had those conversations. So, it's one of them things. It's a tough space for men, especially to be out here like that. Let me let that be known. But just to double back to the story
Mhm.
and not veer off too far. But yeah, so we're one of those situations where we end up calling each other to give even more context on it. We called each other. Couple things were updating each other. I think you called me on the spot while I was at work. And then it was just one of those things where when you communicated and just to get the meat of the conversation was you told me that you'll call me back. And then, you know, so we could touch bases leading up to the events. So I'm thinking like, okay,
Which is
cool.
another thing we disagreed on, by the
And we
way, because
both, yeah,
I don't remember the conversation ended like that, but
yeah, but yeah, he said he'll no, but
that's how it go.
you did admit to it though.
Nah,
You said
all
you right.
right,
I
all right,
did
all right.
other than the other stuff, but you did admit I should have called you back. I mean, you said that. You said I did. But
I knew
anyway,
I could have called. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh no, 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 don't do that, bro.
nah,
Don't do
I'm
that.
saying, bro, I did say I could have called you back. That's a fact. I did say, matter of fact, I did say I was gonna call you back. I believe
'Cause
we talked after that, but that's where the discrepancy come in at. Either
uh,
way, it was a timeline of something that I was supposed to do or spearhead. I forget what it was, but when that time passed, I did know of it, and I still could have called you and didn't.
okay.
So I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
All right. So yeah, man, and it was just basically like, yeah, man. It was basically one of them things where I feel like once again, it's normal. It's normal behavior when it comes to just like working things out and really working with somebody. It's not pretty,
Right.
I and even
It's
after
not
that,
always pretty.
I
Yeah.
yeah, and even after that, I wanted him to stand on his word. So I didn't even hit him back. I wanted him to, because initially, like, aside from business, because me and my brother, I know with me, I tend to mix business with friendship sometimes. So I'm always, there's times where I'm kind of just being lenient with a couple things. And it brings me back to business again, like learning that aspects is really trying to just be like, yeah, this is my boy, but now this got to be business. I gotta tighten him up with love though, and it ain't never disrespect. So yeah, when I sat back and just wait to see if homie would hit me up, now he come to find out he in his head and saying something wrong with and it typically was something wrong with because I didn't let so much time fly by, stuck on the business part. Like, is he gonna hit me up about this? Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, and then he hit me with the text, like, hope all is well with you or something like that, just checking in. I'm thinking like, oh, okay. Now, as a friend and my brother, I wanna just respond back to it, but on the business side, yeah, bro, some feathers been rubbed the wrong way for sure. So, and him not knowing how I was processing everything and moving the way I was moving, it was unfair to him in a sense, and I had to come to realizing that too. Um, and, moving forward, we know how to move and try to be a little bit more better intentional, um, in
Well,
that
nah,
in that
let's
space.
say that even moving forward, I think the lesson in that we pulled out of that is, or at
Yeah.
least that I pulled out of it is, and I'll let you speak on that too, bro. But it's like
Yeah.
not being so not being so caught up in what we feeling in the moment and
Yeah.
trying to think of the big picture outside of what we feeling in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because from my end, I feel like with a lot of things that I was processing, a lot of things that was moving at that time, there was still space where I thought of my gaps and I could have reached out to do something about it. But I didn't in the moment, at least. And then when that moment passed, it was just time to the next moment. And, I thought of it a couple different times and I chose in those moments where it came to me to do nothing about it. Where I could say my intentions was pure because it's not that I didn't want to do it, but if I look at just my actions, I didn't want to do it. So intentions removed. If we looking at black and white, if we look in black and white,
And I think that follows
actions
up
show one thing.
and I think that's what follows up with the other question and why I asked you. I said, "What I say, do you really wanna do this?" Or I said something, "Are you taking this serious?"
You didn't
I
think I
said
was
something.
taking it serious because of similar reasons, questions that you were answering for me based off of how you were seeing them. And it was
Mhm.
like, I don't feel like you serious about this.
Right.
Or it made you question that. And as I was just saying, when you get to a certain point, especially when you get into business, even if you're doing business with family or whatever the case is, business, when you come to a space where you need to produce, feelings aside, when it comes to a space where you need to produce, producing is king.
Yeah.
It don't matter what's happening. It don't matter what's going on. Like if we playing a game, because I mean that's the new thing. We've been posting some clips of us hooping and competing, like actually physically competing. If we on the same team and our goal is to win, whatever you got going on out off of this court, cool. I'm here for you as your brother. But when we in the game, this ain't the time for it. And I don't want to hear that as the reason why you not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Or if it's that much, here, come over here, sit over here. Somebody else go in the game. Because when you in the game, it's time to produce. Or you shouldn't be playing the game. And so that's just a black and white thing, a black and white way of saying, essentially what I feel like we should be on. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm processing it in real time, bro, because it's like even summing
Yeah.
up some of the lessons.
Mm.
I know we've had conversations, but even summing up some of the lessons, it's like, bro, you feelings aside, things don't happen. When your feelings are a beautiful space. So if stuff happens when you're in your feelings that's productive, beautiful. But if stuff doesn't happen when you're in your feelings, that's terrible. So your feelings can feed you or they can distract you. The beautiful part is we have to be more committed to what we actually want to do, whether we feel like it or not. Because we may get into those spaces where we never feel like it. Does that mean we just do nothing? And I feel like that's the
But
question that
even
we
in
have
those
to ask
but even
ourselves.
in those spaces though, bro, like when you in that space mentally where you have the option, but you choose to do else, something else in that mode, knowing that you should have hit me up or whatever the case may be. Like, how does that, and I mentioned priority, like how does that not become a priority of something else? Like, how does that, like, something that you trying to build, something that you committed with your partner, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does that not say that triggers you in that moment? Like, nah, I gotta do this. I got to.
So, two things. The way you say it is what I know I should have did. I don't see it the same way.
Mm,
Um, so when you're getting your feelings, this is the slippery slope of your feelings. Because in that moment where I could have hit you, or you say I should have hit you, and I do respect that. I was in my feelings. It was coming up. That was the weekend, right? Leading into the day my dad passed, and I had just heard that day. I believe it was the day I was supposed to reach out to you. I had just heard that one of the homies' pops had passed, and it kind of put me into that space even more. So again, that's all feelings for sure. Were there opportunities for me to reach out? For sure, it was. I was in my feeling pocket, yeah. And a part of me, and I expressed this to you, a part of me felt like you could have reached out to me after some time passed. Like, yo, this ain't like,
yeah.
bro,
But
what's
bro,
happening?
okay, respect.
But that's,
We said that. But
but
I also mentioned,
yeah,
because I didn't know your pops passed. I had that conversation
yeah.
with you. I was like, dang, because my wife's like, Tone's um dad, this is an anniversary. I said, oh, okay. I went online. This was after I held off a couple days feeling some, like, oh, dang, he probably is going through. But I had mentioned it to you when we called, like, is this going to be a thing around, like, is that a thing for you where and you was like, nah, like, that ain't going to be like, it's like you said, like, it wasn't gonna be an excuse, which I think could be valid still, you know what I'm saying? Because that's something like deep to the core. But it's like I was trying to understand that on the business aspects, like how do we move, like in those moments? Because, like, to be honest, let me be full. Like, there's plenty of times where I probably acted for, bro. To be honest, I didn't want to show up to the men's mentality.
Yeah.
Then a couple days, that was fresh that I found out that my cousin died. You know what I'm saying? So I could have been like, nah, bro, I can't even go. The day of. Nah, bro, I not communicating, not nothing. Like, and then do I express that? Do I get that pass? There's an understanding, and maybe so,
Nah,
yes.
it ain't even no. It's not even no pass. It's not even no pass, bro.
Don't
Because
let the pass like really trigger, like say something off. I mean, maybe it could be a different term I
no, no,
use,
no,
but
no,
it's
no, no, no.
like,
I ain't. I'm not. I'm not. I'm
yeah,
not on that. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to get into the conversation. I'm with you, but I want to flush it out too at the same time. It's like it's not. It's not no excuse either. And so now, what is very valid is that things are gonna happen. So
yeah.
with that being the anniversary of my pop's passing, like I said, this we've been in it 3+ years. You know what I'm saying? That anniversary come around once every year, and that ain't been the same thing every time. Last year, the same thing happened. You feel
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And but not the same thing. It wasn't, the outcome of it was different. We actually did two events. The we actually did two events in that week span last year, and that was the first time we did it. And I was going through all of the same things, and so no, it doesn't look the same each year, and it's not
No,
an
it don't.
excuse.
No, it don't. Yeah,
There's been,
I
matter
hear
of fact, to say that there's been plenty of other things. I mean, plenty of other reasons. If that was the case, I could have used to say, nah, I'm a chill, but nah, that's not it. But what I am saying in it is, in those spaces where it do get a little sticky, since you've seen me show up and you know what's going on. And there's been more times than I can count where you know what's going on and you like, bro, I don't know if I would have been showing up right now, but I see you showing up and you give me the flowers for that. All I ask is on the opposite side, when it's something going on and it is getting to me a little more than it usually has, or a little more than I would like it to, and it's affecting how I show up, then I'm like, yo, if you know what I'm saying, before you get to a space of feeling some type of way, yo, grab my hand, bro. Come on, I'm here.
Yeah,
Grab my
but
hand. That's all I'm saying, because
yeah,
that part of it is where in the conversation where I was like, bro, I felt like you kind of, with that perspective that you were saying, I felt like, bro, you was kind of letting me drown. Well, how you was
yeah,
saying it was like, nah, you call me because you said you was gonna call me. Ooh, all right, cool. But if your brother normally calls you and he don't, maybe check on him.
yeah.
That's what I was saying.
See,
Not
and now
where
that
I need you as accountability, where no, I'm only gonna call you if you were there to hold my hand to call you. Nah, you seen me
yeah,
call you when the circumstances got heavy. You seen
yeah,
me still be the primary when things heavy. You like, I got this. I'm like, nah, bro, I still.
yeah.
And
I
so, yeah,
yeah, I think and we talked on that. Now, one thing I gotta admit, I didn't know about your friend's passing, bro. So RIP to your friend's sibling.
you know who it
Uh,
was. We talked about that too, bro. It's not, but that's
Not that day. Not that day, bro.
nah. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Shout out
yeah.
to
I
my
didn't know,
brother
but
Seth, man.
I,
Yeah. But
yeah.
but yeah.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah. Matter of fact, okay. You said Chef. I got you. I'm thinking you said somebody else. Yeah, we did talk about that
Nah,
actually.
nah, it ain't nobody else. And so we doing a weird thing. We doing. I mean, I hope. So first,
Nah, it's
let me set the table. I hope I hope and I pray everybody is getting the context of the conversation, because we are rehashing the conversation, but then as new parts of it
yeah,
are developing still.
and
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 so
this
it's a
is
space where we're trying to be transparent, trying to pull the lessons out of it while
and this
still
is good.
grasping.
And this is good
You
because
know,
this is exactly what goes on. This is what it looks like. This is what it is as far as transparency goes. Like, but
facts.
I wanted to say, to touch on that though, to keep it going. And it's not a back and forth. I'll just and to prove it, I'll just end it right here. Regardless of the fact
Then what
of
the
what
last word?
perspective.
Nah, I'll just play.
Nah, no, you
Go
definitely
ahead,
can
bro. You
fill in
good.
after me. I just know
You good, bro.
I just
I'm
know I'm
thinking
gonna
with
be
you.
done. I'm gonna be done. But look,
Go ahead,
but
brother. I'm
it's one
with
of
you.
them things where it's like, in my eyes and my perspective, and we got different perspectives, but we known each other for years. Yes, I know, like I said, on the friend aspect of things, as my brother, somebody I know to check on him. But like I said, I was in another season in another bag where business is business. Stand on what you say. And I took that side, like you said, you choose. I chose in that moment. Like I chose business. Cause if it was business and I tell you something, I'm gonna follow through. Now, now that I'm getting in that bag, I see how it's like when I'm separating from just my homie, my dog, my brother, like that's all day. That'll be nothing for me to be like, bro, what's going on? But as I was getting in that moment, like, bro, I was literally changing and trying to be a little bit more accountable, holding each other accountable on the business side of things and how we move. And we had conversations like this. And there are things that you say that stick to me that I really genuinely like take to the heart. So when it's just like I said, I bring this up when the conversation we had previous, and it was just like, look, I ain't trying to keep repeating. It just that stuck with me. Like, why do we gotta continue to repeat? Let's just say what we say and stick and follow through. And it's one of those things where it's just like it was just bad timing. I feel like at the same time because there's not one moment that I don't want to check on you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like sometimes those moments where I kind of want to hold you accountable and see what you gonna do and sit back and see what you gonna do instead of you feeling like it was like you was drowning, which hurt me though. When you was saying that, it hurt me. Even to this day, when you say it, it's like Lord knows I'll never. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, and definitely if it was in the physical realm, I'm diving in there with my big dog. But to stay on track, it's just like there are times, bro, where it's just like, I want to see what he gonna do. He's saying what he gonna do. Let me see. He told me he gonna do this. Let me see if he follow through. and that was just on the business aspect of things. And like I said, yes, even on the business side of things, do we still follow up? Yeah, I do believe that. We do follow up. And it's crazy because as we was gonna follow up, we literally it was just simultaneous. It was the weirdest thing. You just beat me to the punch. And I told you this. I'm like, bro, you literally and then, we encounter that a couple times within our relationship, just in general. So it was just like, dang, bro.
Mhm.
And just how it all played out, man. At the end of the day, though, homie, like I'm just glad that we was able to talk it through and realize our faults in both on both sides. You can put it any other way, and I've learned after having so many confrontations for so long throughout my life with individuals, it's like, man, I think I've been trying so hard to like want people to see my perspective and make and feel me so bad. Like, nah, but see me though. Like this is what I was feeling.
Mhm.
And then the fire and desire is coming because you know what I'm saying? That truth burns. The truth burns when you not being heard. And I'm the type of person where it's like, man, I had to learn a lot to try to hear your side of things eventually, even though I was feeling some type of way. But it also lets us know how well in tune we are, and also how we are just able to try to show each other grace through it all. Like sometimes we try to like, what I'm saying, nah, we ain't letting up. But at the same time, bro, it's sharpening each other for sure. And yeah, bro, that's essentially it, man. I'm
Yeah.
not like, what I mean, bringing up stuff that was in the past, but I feel like that
Nah,
bringing it
no, no,
up
no,
was
no.
good though.
We
This was
needed to
good.
flush this conversation out, bro.
Yeah, this is exactly what
Because I
was
want to even
happening.
say, even in the conversation, brother, I feel like this conversation needed to come up because again, how you made your point, opening the dialogue was just talking through your feelings, and so I didn't think the conversation would be full or the conversation would be whole if we didn't add some perspective into it. And so the beautiful thing is, even from what I just heard you say, is from my perspective, I hear what you're saying 100%, and I can understand your lens. So I'm not ever here trying to say that I don't get it, or I don't understand what your approach was and why you didn't reach out and check, which was cool because again, I do understand your side of it and I respect it. The difference is though, bro, I can respect it, validate it, and it can still be not my truth. You feel what I'm saying? Like I can disagree. Like, well, I see it differently, but I do hear you and I do respect you. And so let's figure out how to kind of meet each other in a space where we can continue to produce, even though we don't
Uh,
see this the same way. And
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
that's just where I'm at with it, bro. Like I don't
Hmm.
fault you. I don't think you know what I'm saying. Would
Yeah.
I'm not safe with you or you not my bro. None of that. I just truly feel like in those spaces where if staying productive or producing is the goal in my eyes, then if I was supposed to call you 2 days later and a week and a half go by, I feel like not only is that can that be counterproductive, that gets into a space where like we're not producing. And
Mm.
yes, I can be one who, can have the deliverable on the table, but I'm a part of a team, bro. And
Yeah.
I can own the fact that of what I could have did because I could have reached out. I had numerous opportunities to reach out when I had those thoughts and didn't. So that part of it is 100% on me, bro.
Yeah.
And I can never change that. Or do I want to? Because that's something that I can learn from or grow from. And so, yeah, we just see it two different ways. But I think that's also the beautiful thing in business where you have two people at the table who go about life and who see it from two different lenses. Because if we both seen it the exact same way or seen everything the exact same way, we will both have the exact same gaps and they'll both have the exact same blind spots. So, bro, that's just another beautiful part of business,
Hmm. Yeah,
honestly.
bro.
And as we
Definitely.
talk that through and as we continue to just navigate life, that's not going to be the last thing that we don't agree on. That's not gonna be the last thing that we see different perspectives on.
Yeah.
And that's a strength, believe it or not, if we are able to communicate it, if we are able to articulate it and say how we
Yeah,
feel, or say,
bro.
bro, that hurt
Sh-
my
sh-
feelings,
sh-
or say, like, man, I wasn't feeling that, bro. Can we talk that through? Can I, you know what I'm saying? Maybe an explanation, or maybe what your thoughts were on it could help me understand. But I don't agree with that. So that's just real, and stuff that a lot of people will have to deal with, because it's my
uh,
brother. I love him, and we in this thing. So
Yeah,
that's the
absolutely.
growing pain. And it also gets, I mean, even gets to some of the stuff that I said that I wanted to talk to. Now, the overarching thing that I wanted to come into the podcast today and talk about is looking in the mirror, um, because we've had to do it in business, and doing it in one area is going to, by default, make you look into that mirror in other areas. And so I think that's right on point with that message as well, bro.
Hmm.
What's the biggest thing lately that you've learned about yourself?
And I'm learning to have this. I'm learning about myself that I have this expectation that I hold over people at times, and that's why I don't bring too many people close now. Um, or I don't take nothing personal. I've learned I don't take it personal when I learn how to control my expectations towards individuals. Um, there's only expectations from my close ones, like my small inner circle. But even with that, I got to be careful because they're human too. They're still human, even though they're closer than anybody. But you know, um,
What's that mean, bro? Can you
yeah,
tell me what that mean a little bit more?
I'm trying. Oh yeah, I'm trying to work on it, brother. Trying to break it down. So like my high expectations, even with the close ones I have, and I mentioned I got to be careful with that. Like it goes back to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance, having all these expectations as if she owes me something. Um, and my daughter don't really. And I feel I had a conversation with my wife a couple of days ago, and she was mentioning how she had conversations with her friends, and one of them about my situation with my daughter, and I think one of them spoke up and mentioned about why does Adrian act as if she owes him anything? Why she act as if Adrian as she owes Adrian something, and like your child don't
But that
really
means
owe
you
you.
lost.
What I said? Sh- who does she think she? But no, I didn't. It was one of those things I couldn't just. It was hard, bro. Certain
Yeah.
terms you use. You like what do you mean, like and
Yeah,
but it's one of
that's
them
real
things where
though.
I had to let process because obviously I wanted to say how I feel in that moment, and boy did
Mhm.
I did that uh with my wife that night while we were talking,
Gave
but
her an earful, huh?
like yeah, like what I feel like she owed me respect at least, like you know what I'm saying, like I
Yeah.
don't even think it's yes, respect is, you work for respect, it's earned, not given. And so I'm learning to shift my mind when it comes to having expectations with my kids. I'm learning not to have too much like high, like over the top. Like there's times with my son, he's literally I see him struggling. Now that's one thing I'm learning too as a parent. If you see your child struggling, yelling at them and expecting them to notice by now, like I think that pushes them down further, especially if they deal with their emotional intelligence is just all over the place and they struggle with their emotions. So I'm learning to be a little bit more patient with my kids who live in a different household. So I'm in that season and going back to the expectations, like bro, the expectations of them just like like, it's me, like, currently, my daughter's still not living with me, but, having the expectation, like, she should be at my house, like, I provide for her, I don't do nothing, I clothe her, feed her, like, yeah, you can go down that list of things as a parent, I get it, and I'm starting to learn these and we talk about it sometimes where, you know, most of these kids are not even using half of their brains or majority of their brain. They literally are using certain part of their brains where, some of them are very mature. And I don't care. They could be teenagers, still mature because of
Mhm.
how much life we lived. Of course, we're going to try to show them the way and want to, but when you have a resistant kid or you in situations where, you know, your child is not under one roof, like, there's so much patience. I feel like there's way more patience a parent has to deal with aside from a kid that stays and live with them, and nothing against that, because I feel like there are times where parents that had their kids that are under their roof and don't have to go back and forth, don't have multiple homes. I feel like they
Facts.
still struggle too, not to take nothing away from them, but I think on average, I the parents who deal with 2 households or more, they, they get hit the hardest the most, and I forgot 2 kids that I have with my wife. I've seen the difference, the 2 dynamics of that, and it's crazy because it's one way I'm this as a father with my 2, and then the shift change, the emotions that I have to take on, it's a different wave, and I'm learning in this season where I have to adjust to that because 'cause I'm thinking my kids have to adjust to what I got going on, and that's very difficult for them. I'm learning that, like, wow, like, cause ain't no way I have a son who's very intelligent, even in the school space, like, he's on the honor roll, like, he's far from just, like, just n not understanding, but, like,
Mhm.
outside of school and, like, home, and when it comes to the house and chores and just real life, life that hits him, it's just like he just shuts down. It's like, "Oh, man," it's like, "What is that?" And, just trying to, like I said, trying to just lessen up my expect not lessen them up, but just switch them a little bit, um, and I guess not being too hard, and knowing when to be like, especially with my son, knowing when to be a little bit more aggressive, knowing not to always try to, defeat him or talk, there was a point in time with just a situation where I thought motivating him by telling him, "I don't think you can get a I don't think you can get a home run."
Mhm.
That ain't build him up at all. That didn't that didn't move him or phase him. Now he go into the game. I think he did go to his game and almost actually hit it close to the fence, but he did it out of anger though, you know what I mean? It was one of them things where like he was trying to prove me wrong instead of trying to prove it to himself. And am learning like that's not the way to try to raise a young man because that's one of them things where I think it'll fester in his heart and he'll eventually lash out at me like, "You always didn't believe in me, telling me I couldn't do this and
Yeah,
that."
facts.
So it's like I had to be very
Yeah.
mindful and stop saying that. But I've been like that even when we compete. You ain't got that tone. You ain't got that like when we go 1v1, it's like you my boy, but at the same time, I'm telling you what you can't do just because I'm going against you. You know what I mean? And
Facts.
it's like, dang, why am I 1v1 my son? Why am I acting like I know he's in competitive sports, but I shouldn't be competing against him when he already competing against other people. What am I doing? So it's like, and that's not like that all the time, but I've noticed there are times where I get aside of myself and say certain things to him, and I apologize to him. I had to, but it's like, man, I gotta really raise this boy up. I mean, I'm so big on like I love praising kids, but I also try to like bring them to reality too, and try to
Mhm.
show them what they enemies or they opponents can look like. And I try to be in those shoes at times, and I notice like uh, depending on the child, that ain't gonna work. So
Facts.
yeah, having those expectations, man, and I'm learning that even with business with you and our current situation. Not bringing it up purposely, but just saying, like, I had an
You good, man.
expectation there. I had an expectation there, right? I expected
Mhm.
you to stand on your word, and like I said, people that's close to me, you are close to me. So it's like I have to learn how to peel back and understand, because I do believe that I definitely have some wrong, even though I feel right. There definitely are some wrongs that I've could have tightened up and avoided, and just cover my bases just in case. So, and just constantly doing that shadow work, brother. Like that's what it comes down to. Um, I'm sorry, I overspoke a little bit, but man, that question
Nah.
touched me though, bro. That question touched me a lot though. That was a great question. Follow up with that though, bro. What about you?
Yeah, nah, you didn't overspeak, bro. I feel like we in a space, bro, to just flow, man. Ain't no timeline on what you have to say or how that connects, bro. I think that's a
And,
beautiful answer.
but I
I
did hear
mean,
wifey.
we can only
Wifey
get more
did say eight
specific.
o'clock. Wifey said 8 o'clock. So yeah, we on the time though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that part. But no, so
I thought I gotta remind you, bro, because
she'll
you know.
nah, she'll come back down here in a minute. That's just how my baby is, man. It's my cheat
Respect,
code,
though.
bro. That's
Respect,
my
yes,
cheat
sir.
code, brother. But nah, for me, bro, I just been doing a lot of reflecting, man. Just trying to continue to get better.
Yeah,
I feel like there's so many things and there's just so many different lessons in life, different parallels between just different parts of life, business, personal, all of it. And I feel like we've 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 had to learn a lot, even being a little over 3 years in. We've had to learn a lot. But if I could say the biggest thing that I've learned about myself recently is probably how my story connects with how I show up. Um, just learning myself, bro. Like out of 12 grades in grade school, I changed schools 9 times. And so with that, the longest school I went to is Westerville South, and that was for 3 years. And just growing up, bro, it's like I have friends. I have a group of friends. I have a group of people I'm connected with every day. We kick it. We it's good while we in front of each other. Then the next year I'm somewhere else, and I don't talk to the people who I was with, and I make a whole new set of friends. And you know, just how that kind of stuff, just my history, how that shows up. Because even that specifically, what I just named, if I'm not conscious, I won't even call the homies or nobody. I won't answer the phone just because it's not like if. But if in face to face, or if you right in front of me, well, I'm good there. I could be there all day. But just finding out my communication style and how intentional I have to be, because if I go with my default, I get real spacey. So just
yeah, that's
man,
real.
just learning myself, bro, and not using it as an excuse, but using it as information to continue to learn. I'm not okay being the same. Like if somebody could tell me like, bro, that's the same nigga that I knew. Da, 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 da," I'm like, bro, that's not a compliment to me. Like,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a man, of course, at the end of the day. So if it need to go left, it can always go left. I've learned that from I feel like the best of them. But
mm,
who you are because of who you are in your heart is a beautiful space to be operating in, bro. Because there's a lot of people, and I was one of them, but there's a lot of people out right now walking around and doing things for other people's approval and
okay.
wearing a mask because that mask has gained them access or has made a life for them or a name for them that once suited, or maybe they still are enjoying the benefits of it. Who knows, brother? But
Yeah.
everything that I'm doing today is to be more like Christ, bro. At least that's my
Mhm.
goal. I
Yeah.
I I'm trying to shed all of those other filters, all of those other layers, and studying myself, or getting the information from what made me essentially me, what patterns were created, whether I created them or I'm still just keeping them alive. What patterns created the version of me to where I am now? Not to, again, and even when as I'm doing that research, it's not to be like, oh, you did this to me, or I can't believe you, da da da, or how could I not see that? No, it ain't even for none of that. It's because listen, I want to do something different. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to evolve. I want to continue to be better. I want to continue to pour. I want to continue to add value. I want to continue to be impactful. And those things are going to require me to continue to look in the mirror, to continue to try to get better, to continue to not settle. And, the biggest place I see that in is my, my workout regimen, the physical, because I feel like that's the first thing people see. Where before you even open your mouth about discipline, they look at your body, they look at your
Mm.
routine, they look at your Strava. You know what I'm saying? And those kind of things, you can't. You can be great at communicating. Your conversation, your mouthpiece could be crazy, but it ain't gonna talk nobody into believing what you got going on after a while because they can't see it. And so just trying to be
Do you see yourself like that?
me. Like what?
Being somebody who's good at using their words, and then on the back end, you feel like, dang, where I'm at. Why am I not showing up in those spaces after I didn't?
I feel like that's kind of like a double-edged question. I feel like I'm one of the coldest with my words. I don't feel like I'm good. I feel like I'm Hall of Fame,
I believe
honestly.
it. I believe it.
But I do feel like there's a lot of space for my actions to catch up with what I'm saying, for sure. A lot of that is due to structure, not intention. A lot of that is
Gotcha.
due to structure. Um,
Understood.
because that's and anybody who nah, I ain't gonna say that.
Mm.
But yeah, so that has showed me some of my gaps too, for sure. Yeah, because I feel like I'm one of the coldest when it comes to just communicating, using my words to articulate or to get a point across. I feel like I'm blessed with a gift to do that.
Got you.
But it is also highlighted, like I said, the structure part of it, which I'm not a highly structured person at all. I'm a highly spontaneous person, who have a
Mm.
million ideas
Brilliant.
and I can
Brilliant
hyper
ideas.
focus. I can
Brilliant.
hyper focus. Matter of fact, one doctor may have said the acronym ADHD once or twice. I'm not saying I subscribe to it, but I have I have heard
Nah,
it before. I have I
it's
definitely have heard it
you a
before.
fool, bruh. Heck you not.
Uh, I did have an IEP in high school.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was right there
so,
with you, B. I was right there
well, I
with you.
mean, I wasn't gonna put your business out there, but
Nah, I knew it was going. Nah, I didn't know it
yeah,
you. You was waiting for it to fall out.
but
Nah, you good.
nah, so I have heard those letters before. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, just trying to look at my gaps, bro. I look at
Yeah.
my gaps. So structure is definitely one of my big ones. That's why my wife
Yeah.
is at the table now because structure is one of her. She's a goat. So
Yeah.
she's definitely a goat at structure. So,
For
but yeah,
real.
just learning
Yeah.
myself, bro, in that
Yeah.
capacity. So that's the biggest thing that I've learned about myself is
Yeah.
watching my film and realizing it. So yeah, I've been able to get into the roots of how I communicate the way I do, and I
Yeah.
can only try to put things in place to create a new routine because we live our life off routines,
Yeah.
and so that's only my truth because of a routine.
Brother, you It's crazy. It's one of these moments where, you know, we had these conversations, but bro, I don't know if this gonna even make sense, but as you're talking and somebody who's been inspired by you and, I've even told you, bro, there's times I feel as if you like a mentor to me, man, just because of how good you speak well, bro. And not only just speaking, like you can literally feel the passion within what you're saying, and it makes a person just feel like, man, I can do this, or man, you made me see the bigger picture a lot. But what I was gonna say is, bro, I really do feel like, bro, you a dreamer who just stays in the bed, bro, like dreaming. You have all you see all this,
Nigga told me
you
I
see
stay in the
all
bed.
this. You just in the bed, yeah, and I feel
Nah,
like
gang, I put
once
in
you
work, bro.
once you no, 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 I'm not.
Nah,
Let
I'm with you.
me
I'm with you.
yeah, that's
that's just
probably
banter
the
back and forth, bro. I'm with you though.
yeah, okay, but nah, it's times because I've seen you paint so many beautiful pictures, bro. And even before we did this, um, let's talk about it, bro. This wasn't planned. We can go down the line from your football journey, like the dreamer, bro. Like, and that's why I say you stay in bed in some situations because you didn't pursue the NFL. And we talked about that. Like, bro, you motivated me and moved me. I actually moved on the to the try out for a arena league, not UFL, but the arena league.
Mhm.
And like I said, it was just like, dang. And then when we had that conversation just recently, I didn't even know, and I know you mentioned it, just you said you wanted to do the AFL, and when you said that, I was like, huh? The arena league? The not UFL, but the
AFL,
arena league? And it was like
AFL, CFL,
all
NFL
that.
workouts. Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, dang. But I just didn't. But I believed in that moment that you could have made it to the NFL though. And ain't like you wasn't just out here talking. You was like you had the size, like nice speed. So I'm like, oh, that's gonna happen for him. I think I'm better off going to the arena though. I think I got a better shot going over there because
Mhm.
I knew what you was capable of really doing. Like I'm saying. So it's like, I don't know, bro. Like I said, me using that.
I agree. No, 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 no. Keep that. Keep that.
You know what I'm
Don't bring that
saying?
up.
Like a
No, but I
dreamer
agree with
still in the
that.
bed. Like I ain't saying you
I
a
agree with that.
slouch, bro, but there's times I feel like you almost there. You're literally almost there, and it's like wake
Nah,
up.
don't clean it. Don't
You
clean that up
here.
because I agree.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
That's what I just wanted to
Let me
break
take
that
that.
down though. Why I said that. You get what I'm
Let me
saying?
take that to another level too. Nah, I get it. I do 100% get what you're saying, and it does make sense. Um, it does make sense. I say it like this, where Reggie called me a fire starter. Reggie called me a fire starter. That's my brother.
Facts.
Um, to where I've seen the ability that I have to start a fire in other people. Like I have, and not even intentionally. I'm just flowing. I can just be in a flow state, and I look up and I got 10 men around me that's looking at me like, "Yeah, Tom, I'm here because of you." Like, oh, whoa, okay, okay, didn't expect that or didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Didn't what? But again, I've seen that in different places in life, in different spaces in life for sure. And the whole analogy, dreaming and then standing in the bed, that's very true when it comes to the point that you were making. Whereas the thing's not all the way in hand. Where it's like you can start it, you can get it going, and even get other people to do it too. And then you don't get it. I don't get it in hand. And so that's in the football space. I've seen it happen in the running space. Even if I continue to use Reggie, like he called me a five starter. Boom, we got in and did that half together. He got back on the wagon and was putting in miles on the back end of that, bro. It took me a little minute to get back to running. Um, And I don't know what that is, bro, but yeah, I get the whole sleeping, still dreaming thing. I do.
Yeah.
And as you know, off the top, it's like, yo, where you going with this? Like, I'm open to hear it, but like, what? Nigga said I'm still sleeping. What? I put work in,
Man,
but it's like,
yeah,
yeah, if we going black and white, you put work in, but to what extent? I
yeah,
don't take it all the way to where I could take it. Now there
yeah,
are reasons sometimes for different things, but reasons are the same thing as excuses when it comes to certain categories.
yeah,
So
for
I get
sure,
that, bro.
man.
And
Yeah,
yeah, that's one thing. That's definitely comes down to a structure thing.
yeah,
I can trace that something like that down to structure, bro. Where it's like building a routine, or do I ever even build a routine? I think in some spaces especially anything is about athletic,
yeah,
where I bank on my ability to such an extent where I never have to create a true routine, where I can go about it a certain way and still show up and produce as if do have a routine, just because I'm athletic, and or just because I can. I feel like I bank on that sometimes too much.
yep.
And running is a
I
perfect thing for it. Like, I didn't have a
yeah,
routine for running. I ran when I did.
yeah,
I didn't follow no training regimen. I ran when I did.
yeah,
And I only did
yeah,
certain amount of runs, and I still finished. I had a handful of
mhm,
brothers out there finishing, you know what I'm saying, off of my invite.
mhm,
But it was just as easy for me to put it down because it's like, bro, I don't, it never became a routine. It never became a thing for me. It was just something to do.
yeah,
And that just feel like, I feel like I be banking on my abilities too much. I feel like I did
mhm,
that when I was younger too, where it's like, yeah, and I was actively putting in extra work, but it's like, I didn't know what I was, you know what I mean? I'm like, I could pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, and then I could, you know, go
yeah,
once or twice a week,
yeah,
and then take another week off, and then go into a workout with somebody who been grinding 4 or 5 days a week, and I be doing better than them in the drills. That kind of stuff
mhm,
added up for me, bro. Like,
yeah.
gave me a bigger head than I should have had, and I already had a big head, so it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Nah, man,
I
but
really, this boy really feel like he him,
yeah. But
but
nah, bro, you but man, just to
mm,
yeah, bro, you
I feel like these
it's just
conversations is a beautiful space for reflection too, bro. Because
it is, bro.
that's some good stuff.
Reflect, bro. It's shadow work. It's one of them things where we can honestly just take from, and we're sharing it to the world too, man. Like I think that's even a bigger step, because for real, doing this a couple years back, I wouldn't have did this, bro. Like I wouldn't be, like no, but it goes back to you though, Tony P. Your the visionary, um, creating this space, and um, honestly, I couldn't see you. I couldn't had seen you. I couldn't see you stepping out with we the outsiders without the help. I think it was one of them things like you saw like I need a community around me, um, to be able to give me that extra nudge. Cause doing it myself, cause we both expressed that. I've expressed doing my business. I was like, man, I didn't know I needed a extra spark because I'm so used to getting out here. But that's the type of person you are too, I believe. You just know how to bring a community of people together to be able to build off each other. Like still, Rondo, he started with us, and just that alone, that was moving, bro. Like even with him, you know what I'm saying, going another direction, but he's still with us, and the impact that he had off a vision you had, you know what I'm saying, and it's like it's a beautiful experience, brother. To be on this journey, and I think to tie that all into what I was saying earlier about how do I still show up? And I think I always think about the fact that how you are so genuine when you come to the table. I know I'm in business with somebody who, flaws and all, but that pure heart, it outweighs for me. I'm that type of person where if I know your pure heart, no matter what, I've got to show up. I've got to show up no matter what. And I think that's what really pushes and motivates me to still stand here to this day in front of this camera, which I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Still to this day, there's times where I just like, man, I'm just trying to make things happen. I want to talk about my feelings, bro, but I want to make it happen. And being on this has pushed me even more. It's like, oh, like having that conversation about my daughter, like, man, it pushed me to try to adjust as her father and see if I can make it work. Even when you love somebody, and they say you don't really love you, like love shows you so much, bro. And I don't want to go on a tangent, but I want to throw this in here real quick. I thought I I thought I really loved my daughter until she left. When she left, it's like,
Facts.
do I still love her? Like, how bad did I love my daughter?
Yeah.
That do you still love her now that she ain't like, how are you gonna love her in this space now? Now she's being resistant. So not to go too much into
Where your
that, but it's
actions,
just
where your actions have to show the love,
yeah.
and and your actions are forced to look different than how they were. Where you don't get to
Yes.
just go off the defaults where it's like you're here, you
Yes.
eating, you got this. What does it look
Yeah.
like if the deck of cards get shuffled up a little bit and you get a
That's
different
it.
hand?
Yeah. A different
How do you show
hand.
up there? Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. And it's like, man, constantly just what this, what we started, and um, it just constantly motivates. You put people in position, and also I've seen sometimes in the back end where you put people in position that I feel like you should have been in position, but you humbly still move forward. And I think that's why, standing by your side doing this podcast, bro, has really uplift me. I've known this turned into now all of a sudden giving you flowers, but that's typically how it flows when we talk anyway, though, because we had a little resistance in our conversation a little bit, nothing crazy, but at the end of the day, um, I'm just proud that we, especially as men, to be able to talk that through without pride getting in the way, and and just be able to show each other that respect, you know, at the end of the day. So, yeah, bro, like I can give
Yeah,
you
no, no,
flowers
no.
all
First,
day, bro. And I know
no, I
you not
appreciate the
asking
flowers.
for it, but nah, it's just one of them things where it's like, man, we standing here because God has blessed you with a vision and you acted on it. And
Well, well,
that's why
well,
I'm
well, whoa,
here,
whoa,
man.
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, hold on. Wait a minute,
Go
wait a minute,
ahead.
wait a minute, wait a minute. As my boy Bo is
Getting a
trying to get his
little hype.
attention.
No, you're right.
Um, so no. So true to an extent. True to an extent. Visionary I am. Speaking like Yoda. Nah, but visionary, yeah, vision for sure. Um, God definitely blessed me with okay. Now you getting out of hand, gang. All right. All right, buddy. Play with your toy. So visionary I am for sure. This thing came together though, from being in that pocket, bro. Now, did I take from where it was and take it to the head? Well, and just kind of process, forecast, think
Hmm.
things out from there for sure.
Yeah.
But let's be very, very clear. This thing started from conversations that was already being had, being on a treadmill in the middle of a 7-day fast. I believe it was our first 7-day fast, together. Being on the treadmill, doing some fasted
Yeah.
cardio, 5, 6 in
Yeah.
the morning, and somebody overhearing the conversation. That's where
Yeah.
this started at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
Uh,
real. Oh, yeah, you right, you right, you
so, you
right,
know what I
you right.
mean? After that,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, putting the pieces together, yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
That's still
yeah,
God
I could
moving though, bro. That's still God moving,
100%,
bro. That hey, yeah,
100%.
you definitely shined the
And
light on
so
that.
I just want to be very
Yeah, that's
clear
real.
on
Mm,
this is way bigger than me, and
yep.
it will continue to be. And so I
Yeah,
believe
bro.
that's one of the things that keeps me at the table, that got me to the table, because what I was doing beforehand was all focused on me, all centered on me. This wasn't planned, was a beautiful space, not necessarily the business. Fixed Dreams, however, was another business. Um,
Oh, how did
and
I
it was
forget
my
about that? I
dream.
should have mentioned that. Mm,
No, for real. But that was about my dreams feeling like they were broken at one point, and then
yeah,
the mindset of having a fixed dream. And so again, that
yep.
was what revolving around my journey. We the outsiders is bigger than me. My story adds to it, but it's definitely bigger than me. It's about me. It's about you. It's about the person listening to this. Ma'am, sir, whatever age you are, however young you are, or however young you
Absolutely.
are, because you're never
Absolutely.
old. Not as you only old as you accept that you are. The age is one
Mhm.
thing. Old is a mindset. So
Age ain't nothing but a
you know what I'm
nah,
saying?
that ain't had nothing to do with
You
nothing.
know what I'm
It was
saying?
just
Yeah,
how you said that.
say that before about 15 minutes with a wife. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Hold
yeah,
on.
I definitely yeah, definitely will, and it's about 8 too,
The,
so
nah, but we are in a pocket that I feel like feeds us, bro. And my wife ain't said nothing. That does kind of surprise me. But we
Oh,
in a
yeah.
pocket that I feel like feeds the people we are in purpose and passion and gifts. And so that's one thing that I think is beautiful. Now the conversation today was a conversation that, from being authentic, from being transparent, brought up a previous conversation that we had a couple weeks ago. And it did force us to flush out some more things. It did force the conversation to get um not ego driven, but to a space where it's like, yo, this is my perspective and this is your perspective. How do those things come together? And that's always a song and dance, especially when you're dealing with two men, because muscle memory in manhood is don't let nobody play you. Ego, the type, all of that things that we were taught.
Facts.
Man's man, all of these things is, and to be heard. And if you don't feel heard, turn into the hawk. So
Man,
just even communicating those things and getting into a space where things could have got different. Things could have got, a little intense. Things could have got a little gray.
yeah,
And being able to articulate through that to say we hear each other and continue to say, okay, this part, we're on the same page. This part, I get it, but I don't agree. This part works for us. This part don't make sense to me, but I see what you said. Like that's like men stuff, bro. And so as that wasn't the aim for the conversation today, that's where it went. And I feel like that's beneficial to anybody who's tapped in. And I pray that y'all always get the lessons in it all, not just the mess, not just the story of what happened, but more than anything, something to apply to your journey. And that's really what it's all about. So here we are again, yet for another episode. It's an honor to be here in front of y'all. So it's not right unless we leave y'all, our listeners, our family, fellow outsiders, with something that we feel like you should pull from this. And so I don't know
mm,
if you want to start, if you want me to go first. Let's leave the people off. And when I say people, I mean I'm talking to one of the above or all of the above, where it's the younger version of yourself in another version of your life, in another season of your life, something that you needed to hear, something that you need to hear today, something that somebody you mentor needs to hear based off our conversation. What did you pull from it, from your lens? Come on, son.
mm.
What you doing, gang?
Man, I essentially pulled from today's conversation, uh, it was a lot. It was a lot that we were getting into, while staying on course for sure, but, um, I've learned just being able to be more patient, I'm taking from this conversation. Um, seriously, I'm learning to be more patient just with you. Like there's times where I thought I was, oh, that's the homie. Like, I think I passively say that. Um, being in business with you, bro, understanding the different aspects of things when it comes to business. Um, yeah, bro, I really learned that I have to be a little bit more um communication wise too. I've learned that to be more effect to try to be more effective with us being in business. Um, I really took from that conversation, that part of the conversation when we got to touching base on our previous situation. Um, I think throughout this whole conversation that touched me the most. Because we reflect, we only talked about it once, and this is the second time we talking about it. So it was just like, dang, I
Mhm.
think we were able to brush up a little bit more because those was real reactions in real time. That was just crazy to
Yeah.
me. I never had a back and forth like that while being on the pod, and I think that's good though. Still, I think everybody just see me sit back and just talk, but there's no pushback. I think this is probably the first episode we had where there was a little, you know, hey, yo, this and that, what I'm saying? But it's all clear now. So, and like I said, in that moment, it definitely, I pulled that, being patient with you and just communicate, in the moment, to the best of my ability. And, yeah, homie, that's just what it comes down to. And all, yeah,
And how does that
expectations.
how does that translate how does that translate to the person listening? I hear what you said you pulled from it, but
Yeah, but
translate
I
that
will.
to somebody else that may be going through something similar
And
or
just
that may
yes,
use your
into the other individual that tuned in and just hearing me saying this is, whatever you got going on, whatever you going through right now, be patient with yourself and understand, like I mentioned, the emotions, they come and flow. You have to just let the emotion ride. And sometimes those emotions get whatever some emotions just is super heavy. And I've been there where I felt like these emotions is gonna take me out. Like, I don't know what. I just wanna leave, you know what I'm saying? Nothing harmful, but it just make me feel like I just like, I don't wanna show up in spaces. I just don't. I don't wanna do it. I don't, and I have my mind made up in that moment. And, if you like that, just give yourself patience and understand that if you could just give yourself that next day or them next couple hours or maybe even minutes, depending on how heavy it is, just know once you gave it time to flow, everything else should look different for sure. I can't guarantee it, but I know for me, it definitely is something that I utilize a little bit more than I have in the past. More currently now, obviously. But yeah, bro.
That's real. That's real, bro, and I appreciate you sharing that, brother. Because like you said, it's been a different episode, but I feel like this stuff like this should become our new normal because again, we are not only opening up a space for men to be more vulnerable, but we are also teaching some men for the first time what it looks like for men to have conversations where they may be on opposite sides. Um, and I feel like that's a healthy space
Mm,
because I mean that honestly leads into my point for today is don't be too attached to how things are. Don't be too attached to how things are going. Don't be too attached to how you see things in your head
yeah,
that you're never willing to look in the mirror and be ready for the hard decision, the hard
abs-
conversation,
yeah,
the hard turn, left or right.
absolutely.
Because that's sometimes, matter of fact, that's oftentimes what the next level requires of us is to look in that mirror and to say, okay, this ain't working. I've been only in this space so long off of feelings. This really don't work for me. I have to do something different. If the goal
That's
is
it.
growth.
That's it, bro. That's it.
Just never be too attached to the normal. Um,
Yep.
and don't fantasize Don't fantasize the past to the point where it keeps you stuck. It's the same thing, they go hand in hand, but don't fantasize how
Word,
things were for so
word.
long that it stops you from doing what's necessary today.
That's
So if
word.
the communication style me and you had in high school was cool in high school, but we not in high school and we in business, the game has changed. So if we continue to communicate the same way we communicated in high school, that's a broken system that we will be
Mhm.
fantasizing about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so just
Fact.
continue to look at what this season requires of you
Yeah.
from a lens of what is what when you look at everything in your life, everything that you're doing, everything that you're around, everything that your routines revolve around should be
Yeah.
adding to where you are headed.
Yep.
If it is not, that's something that you need to look at and something you may need to change. So that's it.
Yeah,
Just
that's
don't be
real.
so connected to what's happened or what you have that you stay stuck for too long when you could have changed something or
Absolutely.
should have changed something or should have did something
Absolutely.
different or should have had the conversation or should have made the call
Yeah.
or whatever the case, whatever it is. Just continue to look in the
Yeah.
mirror, bro. And if me and my brother's story hasn't been inspiration enough, keep watching because I promise you, we just living out loud, bro. We are going through this while everybody
Yeah.
watching, millions of
Yeah.
people, you know, watching.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, this is what
Um,
you know, we
so yeah,
probably
that's
not
all.
your ideal uh husbands or what it look like as, a father. Some people, they post a lot and you look at them and think like, "Oh man, he got a perfect life." And I'm like, "No, this the real. This is real men
Nah, yeah, we
married.
no, this ain't no fluff.
This ain't no
Yeah,
fluff. I'll post a picture and please follow us on this podcast and you'll see a little bit more how authentic it really is. But no, I no,
because
I,
we,
I
we
was
we
just only
about to get
saying
back
that.
in. We about to get really into a wave of posting more content too.
Oh yeah,
Man, this
we
is
getting in
Matt
that
in here
bag.
too, and I hate
Boy, you
Matt,
sound
bro.
yeah, we sound like my aunt. My aunt be on it. But nah, man, let's wrap it up,
Boy,
man. After saying all last words, you can follow me at Adrian Collins Official on Instagram.
yes,
We the
Lord.
Outsiders on all platforms.
Don't forget the two
Go ahead.
Z's.
Don't forget the two Z's at the end. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no
TP from the
S.
ZZ on Instagram. TP from the ZZ on TikTok. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, man, I want to start posting more because again, I think it's important not only for people to see us,
Yeah,
but for people to be connected with us. And as we
absolutely.
right now, we only drop it once a month. It's important for people to be around like minds, even if and I'm thinking about people in Texas and California that want some
Yeah,
of this energy, that want to be surrounded with us, that can't see us every day. They
right.
can only see us through
Facts.
social media, so on a daily
Yeah,
basis. And so we doing them a disservice, those fellow
yeah,
outsiders a disservice by just kind of hoarding our presence and just kind of going with the flow.
yeah,
So I'm telling y'all
yeah,
here now, we are getting more intentional. We do have the
yeah.
wives at the table now, so
Yeah, they
things
in the
will
back.
change.
Oh yeah,
Um, but
we
yeah,
love
man,
it though.
another episode in the books.
Also, real quick, please tune in. Are we talking about the basketball?
Oh yeah, man, we ain't even say the
Yeah,
basketball. Go ahead.
follow that. But yeah, the open runs, it started off private, but I'm gonna open it up. If you haven't followed the page though, you gotta follow the page because we're gonna start, whoever the followers are on the page, those are the ones that are gonna be getting access and information about the next runs. So we got
We
enough
the
people as it
outsiders pick up
is.
basketball. We
Yep,
the
we also
outsiders pick up
pick
basketball
up
on Facebook.
basketball on Facebook, right? So yeah, Tony B, if there's anything that I missed out about that, man, we could wrap it up.
Nah, man, we all good to go, bro. I appreciate everybody that's here. If you made it to this place, listen, I
Yes.
understand you because I
Yep.
am you. We the outsiders, man. Tap in with us. Follow us on all the socials. Share this. If there's somebody who you know who needs to hear this conversation, please share it. Please leave a comment if any part of this conversation resonated with you, or if you have a question, or if you have something that you will want to hear, or a question that you want us to answer, put it down below. Again, we would love to hear from y'all. Look, subscribe up, and we'll see y'all next episode. Love.
Much love. Gone.